My friends, I must say to you that we have not made a single gain in civil rights without determined legal and nonviolent pressure.
Lamentably, it is an historical fact that privileged groups seldom give up their privileges voluntarily. Individuals may see the moral light and voluntarily give up their unjust posture, but as Reynold Niebuhr has reminded us, groups tend to be more immoral than individuals.
We know through painful experience that freedom is never voluntarily given by the oppressor. It must be demanded by the oppressed. Frankly, I have yet to engage in a direct action campaign that was well-timed in the view of those who have not suffered unduly from the disease of segregation.
For years now, I have heard the word, wait.
It rings in the ear of every Negro with piercing familiarity. This wait has almost meant never. We must come to see, with one of our distinguished jurists, that justice too long delayed is justice denied.
We have waited for more than 340 years for our constitutional and God-given rights. The nations of Asia and Africa are moving with jet-like speed toward gaining political independence, but we still creep at a horse and buggy pace toward gaining a cup of coffee at a lunch counter.
Perhaps it is easy for those who have never felt the stinging darts of segregation to say, wait.
But when you have seen vicious mobs lynch your mothers and fathers at will, and drown your sisters and brothers at whim,
when you have seen hate-filled policemen curse, kick, and even kill your black brothers and sisters,
When you see the vast majority of your 20 million Negro brothers smothering in an airtight cage of poverty in the midst of an affluent society.
When you suddenly find your tongue twisted and your speech stammering as you seek to explain to your 6-year-old daughter why she can't go to the public amusement park that has just been advertised on television, and see tears welling up in her eyes when she is told that Funtown is closed to colored children, and see ominous clouds of inferiority beginning to form in her little mental sky, and see her beginning to distort her personality by developing an unconscious bitterness towards white people.
When you have to concoct an answer for a 5-year-old son asking, "Daddy, why do white people treat colored people so mean?"
When you take a cross-county drive and find it necessary to sleep night after night in the uncomfortable corners of your automobile because no motel will accept you.
When you are humiliated day in and day out by nagging signs reading white and colored.
When your first name becomes nigger, your middle name becomes boy, however old you are, and your last name becomes John. And your wife and mother are never given the respected title Mrs.
When you are harried by day and haunted by night by the fact that you are a Negro, living constantly a tiptoe stance, never quite knowing what to expect next, and are plagued by inner fears and other resentments.
When you are forever fighting a degenerating sense of nobodiness, then you will understand why we find it difficult to wait. There comes a time when the cup of endurance runs over, and men are no longer willing to be plunged into the abyss of despair.
I hope, sirs, you can understand our legitimate and unavoidable impatience.
Dr. King is eloquently articulating the black experience in this letter, and it is that diversity of experience that is the foundation of African American studies.
50 years since 1963. Students at a major state institution that is 26% black should not have to wait any longer for a Department of African American Studies, and especially not in Birmingham.
After 13 years of a failed and always under-resourced program, we are demanding that UAB altruistically invest in the Department of African American Studies
in a fashion that does the legacy of this letter and the field of justice with the fierce urgency of now. The current token treatment and investment should end, and Ubuntu UAB has provided administration with ample information and evidence speaking to our experience as students and what needs to change.
We ask that you join us in encouraging UAB to invest in a field dedicated to the study of African American life and experience as a part of recommitment to the meaning of this letter 50 years later, so that we can meaningfully move 50 years forward.